Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, the podcast for conscious parents, caregivers, and educators who believe tantrums aren't terrible. They are powerful opportunities for connection, growth, and learning during the first 5 years. You'll explore how to use intentional language to raise calm, confident, and deeply connected kids, because the way we talk to kids becomes how they see themselves and engage with the world. Hi, I'm your host, Cara Tyrrell, classroom teacher turned parent educator and teacher trainer. Are you ready to nurture your children's mind, body, and spirit? Welcome, Toddler Tribe. Let's transform the toddler years together. Quick question. Do you subscribe to the Core 4 Connector? That is our weekly newsletter. Drops into your inbox every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just a great way to start the week. Reconnect with the parent, the educator, the nanny, the adult you want to be in your toddler's life. It's easy, quick, and free to sign up. Just use the link in the show notes and you will get all the links that are from the last week's podcasts, just in case they got by you and you say, oh, that's the one I wanted to listen to. Right. Easy, efficient. That's my goal, is to always provide value for you while keeping your life as simple as possible. Sign up for the Core 4 Connector today and let's get this episode started. Welcome back to the show, Toddler Tribe. We are here today to talk about not solving a problem before one exists. Does that sound just like, of course we would want to allow that to be our reality. But I have to tell you, when I work with and observe parents, it is really ingrained in them to be entertaining their kids at all times instead of allowing their children to just experience what's happening in their own bodies and in their own minds. And the outcome is that we have kids who feel like we should always be providing input for them instead of them creating their experience from the inside out. So, story time. You know, I love a good story. Recently, I observed this when I was at church. Now, let me just say, I understand this is a high stakes setting. And what do I mean by that? There are moments, spaces where allowing your child to experience what's happening around them it feels like there's more expectation around it. In your home, you give them a lot more leeway, right? At the park, you give them a lot more leeway. There is the ability to be loud and have it be socially acceptable in that moment. So I understand that church is more of a high stakes setting. That said, the church that I go to, kids' voices and their overall being is very welcome. It's a celebration of the fact that we have youth and we're blessed with children in this life and that it's our job to raise them up. So I was watching this mom and her kiddo. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is kind of an important part. So one of the features of our particular church rotation is that we have what's called Family Sunday once a month. And so all the kids stay in for the whole service instead of going to their classes or out, to do other things. And this is easier for some than it is for others. And so one of the offers that parents get is to sign out an age appropriate bag filled with things to do. And I think it even has like snacks in it and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. And so if you are between 6 and 8 years old, they try to match your age with the things you might enjoy doing while church is going on. Can you tell? Like, it's really well thought out. Now, that said, I watched this mom of a slightly younger kiddo, I'm going to say between 4 and 5, take the bag, turn it upside down, dump it out on the chair, and say, there. Previous to doing this older kiddo, this older toddler in our world, right, had been fully engaged in listening to the words, in watching what was happening up at the altar, at doing the things that everybody else was doing, in engaging with the service. And I thought to myself, we didn't have a problem yet. This kiddo was meeting the social expectation of sit, look, and listen. I also kind of internally did a cheer for this little one, because aren't those 3 really amazing self-regulation skills to have when we think about the fact that they are likely going to a second year of preschool or entering kindergarten in the fall? So yay, you. But we didn't have a need to alter the environment yet. Does this make sense? I know this mom was likely experiencing some stress, some anxiety, some worry, maybe some inability to focus on her own, because she was like, well, what if my kid does this? And what if my kid does that? And what if? And what if? Here, let me solve that. But she solved it before it needed solving. And more interestingly, I then watched as this little one's attention was diverted, obviously, from where they had been focusing to the pile of stuff, and didn't know what to choose. There's a lot of stuff. And there was too many choices at once to make a choice. And so what happened, and this is really kind of deep level, like neuroscience stuff, but what happened is this kiddo went from a place of regulation, calm, attention, and focus to analysis paralysis, an actual stress experience, and some anxiety around what to choose and what to do. How's that for irony? The intention of this amazing mom was to avoid that for herself and for her child. But instead, the exact opposite happened. Now we actually did have a problem, because now this child did need attending to and interacting with to try to help him get back to a regulated state. Has this ever happened to you? I'm sure it has. I know it has me. And I have to tell you, it is so hard to fight the urge. I know that when I have kids in my backseat and everything's going well, it's in those states of wellness and fineness, and something in me is like, oh, find them a book to read. I wonder what we should listen to for music. No, I don't need to. Everything is in fine state. There isn't a problem that needs solving. When they're in that state of being, here's what's happening. And although it is invisible to you in a lot of ways, because we don't tend to stop and tune into it, What's happening when they are just quiet and calm and in their bodies is they are engaging with the world. They're looking around. They're taking in everything they see. They're listening and hearing all the different environmental sounds. They are thinking. They are doing some real cool practice work in that beautiful brain of theirs. Practicing. Well, if this happened, I wonder I would do this. And ooh, that looks cool. If I touched it, I wonder. They are doing some early cognitive problem solving in their brain. They're busy. They are sensory beings. And so they're experiencing the world in those moments through all of their senses. Let them learn in moments of calm, quiet regulation. When they start to bump up against a struggle, a different type of feeling, a boredom, a regulation issue, a frustration, this is actually kind of hard, then you can, one at a time, offer them a support strategy. It's that balance, that back and forth. Think of it like a tree. And the tree is standing on a beautiful, calm, wind-free, sunny day. The tree is living its best tree life. And then the wind comes and it sways a little bit to one side, but it regulates itself. It comes back to center, and it sways a little bit to the other side, but it comes back to center. You are the but come back to center support system. In the case of this little one at church, if we're following that, and that bag had been held by the parent until he started to sway to the one way, and his voice started to crackle, and there was a whine, and there was a jump down from the chair, and that one thing was pulled out and handed to him. And it re-engaged his attention. And it gave him something to explore for however long he was there to explore it. And then he would wobble again, and you would pull the next thing from the bag. We don't need to solve the problem until it exists. Such a simple concept, and so hard with our humanness. We just always want to. We want to be in such full control, predict everything, and make sure it all goes to our plan. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with today, Toddler Tribe, it's this. As a conscious, collaborative parent, caregiver, or educator, your job is to allow these infants, toddlers, and preschoolers to experience the world, not to manufacture their experience by entertaining them at all times. Okay. Until our next episode, you know what to do. Stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years.